So for this segment of our YouTube video, joining me, co-founder, is Scottie Niehus. So Scott, here's the lightning round. So you got some questions? Throw them at me.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go. Fire away.
Don't be scared.
No, I'm not scared.
Okay. All right. Question number. Well, you know what, dude? I just got to give you a compliment before we even start. Great job on the video. For those of you who stay tuned, didn't fall asleep, because I know some of you people cannot keep your attention span for too long, but that's okay because neither can I sometimes. But hopefully everybody focused on everything that Reid said, because there was some great information there, and I got to give this dude his props.
Thank you,
Cheers,
sir.
brother.
Cheers. Non-alcoholic, of course.
Oh, shit. All right, question number one.
It's the middle of the week. We don't drink this early.
I don't know, what are we talking about? It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
For your EDC on your person,
Okay.
talked a little bit about your pocket knife. What is your preferred pocket knife, and why specifically that knife or that type of knife?
Okay. My specific everyday carry knife, I carry from its Columbia River knife and tool, the Avant blade. I prefer this one. I'll let you have that there. It's got a few different features that I really like. Like I said earlier in the video, it is a frame lock, which I like the frame lock weapons or the frame lock knives mainly for the specific reason is that the frame actually locks the blade in place. Some of the older knives you've seen in the past had a little locking mechanism in the back. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that have some scars or maybe even missing part of a finger because of that. That's why I prefer the frame lock. Also, what I like about the knife is it has this finger well here. So when you're utilizing this tool, your hand's not sliding up the blade. It's a good stop. Has a pretty stout belt clip on it, or a pocket clip. Just again, one of my preferred. It's my preferred everyday carry.
Looks like you got a great, nice, sharp blade on that thing. Looks like you gave it maybe the once over on your strap.
A few times. One of the things I also do really like about this blade is the deployment method. It's very quick. It steps out nicely, and it's easy to open. Don't have to struggle with it if I have to get this out in a hurry. So that is my preferred carry. It's the Avant from Columbia River Knife and Tool.
I dig it, man. Great choice. All right, moving on to question number 2. Are you ready?
Fire away.
All right, let's talk about your concealed carry or off-duty concealed carry method. What is your method to conceal your off-duty carry, and why?
Okay, well, my preferred method to conceal my weapon is on my hip. Now, this is what I've trained with through my job for years, is to carry that weapon at that hip position. So it's where I'm most comfortable drawing from. I have carried appendix carry. I have also carried in the small of my back. Those are rather uncomfortable for me. Again, I'm going to reiterate one more time, I'm kind of a fat boy, so appendix carrying does not bode well for me. It leaves a nice little crease in the bottom of my belly, and I don't really prefer it. But hip carry is my preferred method of concealing that weapon. Again, it's the way I've trained at work, so it's the most natural way for me to draw that weapon and utilize it if I have to.
Yeah, and off camera he told me he doesn't like carrying in the small of his back anymore because he doesn't want anybody to see his tramp stamp.
It's fine.
What was that tattoo, by the way, Reid?
Well, you'll never know.
So as far as the multi-use survival cord, I gotta hear this, man. Have you ever had to use this survival cord at any point in time? And if so, of the multiple strands of different type of survival gear that you have hidden up in this bad boy, what have you had to use, and how have you had to use it?
I have had to use this on a couple of different occasions, and mainly it wasn't for a survival type situation. It was just I was out, found myself in a situation where I had an opportunity to do some fishing. So I actually stripped the monofilament line out of here. It had about 25 feet of monofilament line. I was able to do a little stream fishing with that, and it worked just fine. I was able to use some items that I found in the area to make a hook, have a small weight, and be able to do some fishing. So
how'd that work out for you?
I didn't catch that. So, but yeah, I had it available to me. I have utilized the wax jute cord in there to start a fire before, but that was just mainly just seeing how well it worked. It wasn't something that was a necessity to do, but I know that I can utilize if I need to. So I really do like this because of the utilization. There's so many different ways to utilize this type of survivor cord.
Awesome, man. Not to catch you off guard or anything with this question, but I know that the typical 550 cord is 550 pounds of pressure. Just the fishing line alone, do you happen to know what pound test the fishing line alone is?
I believe the fishing line is a 10-pound test.
Okay, that's awesome.
So it has a pretty good
size.
Yeah, you can
fish
catch,
with that.
You can do a little bit of you can catch some nice brook trout, maybe a rainbow, something like that, and hopefully if you have enough of it, and you're a little better fisherman than me. So.
We'll work on that in the future, man. Hopefully, definitely with some of these how-to videos and whatnot, we're gonna get out there in nature. We're gonna do some stuff, and it's gonna be fun. And hopefully, we can get you, the viewing audience, out there with us, and so we can each one teach one, one another, have some fun. Awesome. So, as for your bag preps, I dig it, man. I just want to know, for my own personal reason, and maybe some of the viewing audience has this question as well, the method by which you prepare your bags for specific items. Do you have a method to your madness, or is it just get in where it fit in?
It's basically a giant game of Tetris. Actually, what I do is I try to distribute the weight. Although the bags aren't real heavy, I still try to distribute the weight in the bag, so if I do have to carry that over a period of time, I can be as comfortable as possible. But what I like to do is those items that I'm going to utilize most frequently, I'm going to have those at the top portion of my bag, easily accessible, be able to get to those items. And those that are going to be less used, obviously, they're going to be further down in the bag. But I want that easily accessible, those items right up top. But again, it's like a giant game of Tetris. You find where it fits, and so you put it in your bag, and you try to find that space where you can most easily access that item.
Makes sense, man. Especially if you're in a situation where you need to bug out. Definitely you want the weight distributed so you can travel a greater distance if need be. But also, like you said, put the items that you're going to need the most frequently or the fastest or the most, in an area where you can easily access them and not at the bottom of your bag. So
yeah, weight distribution becomes a really big issue over long periods or long distances. So that's why you want to make sure that weight's distributed properly. And so if you're going to have a bag too, you're going to build one, you're going to have to do a gear shakeout at some point. Load that bag up, put it together. Go out, ruck with that bag, go out and do some mileage with it, see what works for you, where the weight's distributed the best.
That's great advice. Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that I'm personally lacking, is actually taking my gear, getting out there with it, just to see how I feel with it, if needs be, I ever have to bug out. But thank you for that tip. That's great.
No problem.
As far as EDC items that you absolutely just cannot do without, what are 2 items, if you are in that situation, from your EDC gear in totality, what are 2 items you just can't do without? You don't think you can survive?
For me, absolutely number 1 on my list is going to be my pocket knife. That tool is that's life for me. That is a multi-use tool. That is a have-to-have. Other items, the 550 cord or the survival cord, hey, it's a great item. It has a lot of usages, but can I do without it? I can if I absolutely have to. My lighter is extremely important. This has multiple uses as far as warmth and starting those fires, because in a survival situation, fire is life. All right, you're going to utilize that fire for several different things. Great item to have. It's an extremely important item. Is it my absolute item that I have to have? It's top of the list. It's definitely top of the list. But one of the things that for me, along with my knife, is my Leatherman and the fair seam rod that goes with it. This is...
You're cheating.
I am cheating.
But you're not cheating, you're not trying.
You're not cheating. You don't want to win very bad. And in that situation, hey, you want to win. So yeah, my knife and this, although this does have a knife with it, again, go back to the old saying, two is one and one is none. So having that redundancy, you'd be able to utilize one for maybe cutting wood or whatever, and the other one for like fine work. But yes, I think my knife and my Leatherman, definitely my top two that I must have. This is going to be, my Exotac lighter is going to be right up there with them. So, if I couldn't have one, I'm going to have the other.
Yeah, absolutely. So. If it were me, I'm thinking along the same lines you are. You're going to need something survival-wise to defend yourself, possibly get yourself something to eat if needs be. And that includes the fire, because the fire also acts as protection in addition to, purifying water, things like that. So I agree wholeheartedly with your two choices. Great choices. And yes, you did cheat.
Yes.
We went through your gear bag off camera. Okay, so there was a lot more items Reid didn't necessarily want to bring out and talk about. And I have to call him on this. There's one specific item that he needs to talk about right now. What is that one EDC item that you have in your bag that you were too embarrassed to, or just elected not to talk about?
I need another drink for that one. So, within my vehicle EDC bag, my emergency bag, there is tampons in there. Tampons have multiple uses other than what they're originally intended for. They can be used as fire tinder if need be. They can be used as a water filter in certain situations. Now, I don't know if it's a myth. There is some different people who've put it out there as far as a usage for stopping or clogging and plugging up a bullet wound. I've had mixed reviews on that. I've had some people say, yeah, it can be utilized in an absolute emergency situation, and then I've had people who I trust their opinion say, absolutely not. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. So I think it comes from two different schools of thought and their training, their background. So I think in an absolute emergency situation, if I had nothing else, that's going to be a go-to choice that I'm going to have to utilize in order to stop any kind of active bleeding, hopefully. Right. And then we'll deal with the consequences down the road.
Absolutely. Anybody with any kind of relevant medical training, I'm sure, is going to swear against it. But these emergency guys that think like MacGyver, that are like, hey, you don't got anything else, here's what you can use. Yes. And Reid and I are of that mindset where we're not the experts, we're just a couple of guys that are enthusiasts that are learning different ways. Yep. To be able to do different things out there in the wilderness or in any other survival situation. So
in things like situations like that, do your research, okay? There's a lot of good references out there, a lot of good books out there talking about like austere medical. There's some different organizations out there that provide training, and they may tell you otherwise. So Range University offers an austere medical course, and look them up. If they're in your area, I highly suggest you go see the folks over at Range University, get in on some of their classes. They provide absolutely outstanding, excellent training, and you will not you will not be sorry that you picked them.
Yeah, I can definitely second Reid on that. I've been fortunate enough to attend one of those classes with Reid. It wasn't necessarily the medical class, but you can just tell the amount of knowledge and experience coming from the instructors from this university, man. It's well worth anybody signing up and checking it out for themselves.
Definitely. So there's a couple good books out there that you can look at also, as far as when it comes to any kind of medical, kind of bring yourself up on some knowledge and keep them handy. You can look at a book called Where There Is No Doctor, and another book called Where There Is No Dentist. Excellent books. It basically deals with a lot of medical type of issues that you find in third world countries or in survival situations. Outstanding. I cannot recommend them enough.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, there's great books to have in your collection. We're all about expanding our minds and learning more. Get those books, get them in your collection, and go through them. A lot of good home remedies, natural remedies in there in order to resolve issues, medical or simple medical issues you may have with your kids, family members, anything like that. Great reference points.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that knowledge.
No
I
problem.
appreciate those references. I know I checked out those books. I had them on back order on my Thrift Books account. For whatever reason, they fell off, and hopefully I can get those back in my cart again. I'd like to check them out myself.
Yeah,
I mean, it
great
interests me
books.
very much.
Great books.
Man, they totally took us down a rabbit hole.
There you go.
Awesome, but that's what I love about doing all this, because one topic leads to another, and that brings me to my last question. Drum roll, please. Okay. Of your EDC, you talked about your vehicle EDC not quite being complete yet. What is one item that you intend to add to your vehicle emergency or EDC kit that you don't yet have or is in the works?
In the works. So I purchased some jerry cans, the 6-gallon water cans. I'm in the process of kind of designing a rack to be able to put those in my vehicle, so that I can have water on board on hand if I travel, whatever. I have that water accessible to me. Another item too I'm looking at is there's a few different types of radios of putting in the vehicles, as far as like a CB type radio, a two-way ham radio, different frequencies. Some that are even programmed that you can speak with, like air traffic control or air traffic in the area.
Nice.
So if you find yourself in a situation where you're lost, you've been in a wreck, you still have power to those radios, stuff like that, you can also radio for help. You still have contact and communication in order to actively try to rescue yourself, that active self-rescue. But if you're lost, you may be able to use that also in order to find your way out of a situation. Just a couple of different items I've been looking at.
Cool.
Again, with the water and also with that radio system. So by the time I'm done, I'm hoping my truck will be very low key, kind of a gray man style. You won't really know, but it's going to be apocalypse already by the time I'm done. That's just kind of my mentality. I want a truck. I don't want it to be that truck that you see rolling down the street with all the bells and whistles hanging off of it. I want it to be low key. I don't want to draw a lot of attention. That's
one of those big CB freaking antennas sticking out the back.
I like to fly under the radar with that type of stuff.
Yes,
absolutely. In today's day and age, drawing a lot of attention to yourself is it can be a bad thing.
Definitely not your best option.
Right.
And with all of this gear, all these things, all these items that you are reserving, that you're keeping to preserve yourself and your families in these emergency situations, you're obviously not going to want to reveal everything that you have and everything that you know to everybody around you, because you're going to be that number one target if anything were to happen.
So keep that stuff keep those items kind of close at hand, and keep them. If you're going to have them in your garage, stuff like that, put them in an area where they're inconspicuous. Okay, I would say, but they're easy to get to. But I would not present those items and let the whole world in your neighborhood know, hey, look, I'm preparing for the zombie apocalypse.
Next
There's
thing you know, everything banging down your door. I want to stay with you.
And that becomes the problem. And that is that if there is those types of situations, especially with natural disasters, people who you wouldn't normally think would become wolves, and they come knocking at the door. So you're best keeping that. I don't want to say hidden, but you're best keeping that kind of on the down low and really not talking about it a whole lot. So, and just unfortunately, we're living in a world today that a lot of crazy things happen, and that's kind of why we're coming to you guys and putting this stuff out there. We want you guys to have that knowledge in case that we have a man-made or natural disaster. Have your ducks in a row and be able to get through that situation, not just survive it, but be able to thrive through it too.
Absolutely. Well, Reid, I appreciate you sitting down with me and going over this stuff. Looks like you got everything well in hand here, man, and you are en route to continuously progressing and learning more. And you're humble enough to admit that, hey, this isn't it. I don't know everything. You know,
Right.
I'm going to be a sponge, and I'm going to be teachable, trainable, and I'm going to continue to learn and build upon the skills that I already have.
Exactly. I'm not an expert by any means. This is just stuff that I found through my own experience that works for me. And you have to do your own research. You're going to have to find out what works best for you. So get out there, learn.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a big step in the right direction. Is that learning. But before we sign off here, hey, we need to do a few shout outs. We want to make a big shout to Smoke Bros. They provided us, Mikey B over there has provided us with a ton of great knowledge, a ton of help to get this up and running and the things that we're doing. We've got a lot of stuff in store, folks. We're going to be coming, hopefully, somewhere down the line here fairly soon. We're going to have some, maybe some gear, some swag, to help fund this YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Everything that we do is on our dime. We don't get any funding from advertising, promoting, anything like that. You know, this is something that we love to do so much that we want to share it with you guys. We want you guys to be psyched about it. We want you guys to be involved in it because these are skills that just can't die away. They can't. You know, they're so important. And we have such a passion for it that we want to share it with you guys.
So big shout out to Mikey B over there at Smoke Bros for all the help he's provided. We really appreciate that. And also Range University, go check them out. Excellent source of training, knowledge. Go check them out. Again, man, I just can't say enough good stuff about Range University. Also, we want to thank Jeff Watkins over at Next Step. Next Step Training. Jeff has been gracious enough to throw us some gear, but we're going to be sitting down with Jeff down the road. We're going to be talking about weapons, and Jeff is a DOJ and NRA certified range instructor, range master, and so we're going to be talking to him about different ways to conceal carry, different shooting techniques, stuff like that. So stand by. We're going to be coming down the pike with that. And we want to thank Jeff. He threw us some swag. Jeff, we both know Jeff. We worked with Jeff for years. Outstanding instructor.
And mentor, definitely.
Yeah, great mentor. So wanted to throw him some love. And then also stay tuned somewhere down here shortly where we're going to be attending an event with Castleman Events. We're going to be doing a land navigation and basic survival course. We're going to be filming that, putting it on video, cutting another YouTube show, and so that should be somewhere down the road. We're going to be attending next month, and that's with Mike Castillo. Again, outstanding instructor. I've done some courses with Mike in the past. His land navigation skills, survival skills, on point. So we want to give him a big shout out and tell him we can't wait to meet up.
I'm excited, man. This will be a first for me.
So we're excited to we're really, like I said, this is on our own dime, and then we put out our own gear and put our own swag out. The whole thing is just to help kind of fund this whole channel and
Absolutely.
we're trying to build something here, folks. We're trying to be a hub for information for those who want to learn, and we want to be a tested and kind of a trusted.
Yes.
Not only Facebook, Instagram, website. We're just trying to put everything together right now. And those who've signed up and are subscribed to our YouTube, we appreciate it. Those who are watching the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button,
Please.
Smash that like button.
Please.
Send us some love, send us some comments. We always want to hear feedback.
We could not do this without you. So, on behalf of Reid and myself, thank you guys for your support. We appreciate you. Every challenge that we throw out there, those that jump on in for a chance to, show their wilderness survival or just knowledge and skills. Thank you guys for doing that and showing us the love.
So make sure you check us out over at Facebook. We're the Last Boy Scouts. We're also at the Gram. I just can't sound
Or
cool.
IG.
I just can't sound cool saying that. Instagram.
And then we've got our first YouTube video out there. It's Bushcraft Fire Building 101. Subscribe to our channel, which is the Last Boy Scouts. It's got our little arrowhead logo on there. Check it out. We appreciate you guys. Once again, we're going to hurry up and sign off now here because we've been rambling on for a little while. But stay safe, stay vigilant, be prepared.
And remember, knowledge is your weapon. So this is Reid,
The Beard.
This is Scottie Niehus for Last Boy Scouts. Hey, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.
All right.